You want to build a new gaming PC, but the problem is that it's not your money, or that you don't even want to DIY, you're just not comfortable with that. Fair enough, in some instances, some people just don't want to DIY. I get that. So, today, let's go over some awesome pre-built PCs. So we picked a couple of retailers today. The first one is Computer Lounge, the second one is PBTech, the third one is PCForce, and the last one is PlayTech. There are going to be two rules for this. A category 1 of $1,850 as a minimum spend. So sort of like $1,850 to $2,000. Then the second category is going to be the $2,200 build. So kind of at the top of the range, and we're going to be comparing them each to their own, like what they're offering in terms of their price. We're going to be comparing those builds to the other ones that the retailers are offering, and we're also going to compare it to my DIY PC, and we're going to see the significant price decrease that you get from doing a DIY PC. Now, this is the pre-built showdown, so we're going to go ahead and let's start off. So I've compiled an Excel spreadsheet here just to explain all of the builds and the parts that are in them. I've done my best to try and link everything up, so everything should be linked up in terms of just clicking on the links to the retailers, but not all the parts will be linked as I don't have enough time to do that, but all the parts are listed there, and the warranty periods, the ones highlighted are the ones I would recommend, and overall we're just going to go ahead and try and compare these builds to each other and to my build that I've made. So let's kick it off and start right now. Let's head into our first retailer, and we've got Computer Lounge here. So I just want to note, thank you for Computer Lounge for putting decisive pricing on your computers. It's really easy to navigate and find out builds here. So wasn't that bad to compile for you guys. So for the first build, we've just gone with the Atlas one from Computer Lounge, and this PC comes in at $1,949. Not too badly priced for its specs. I'll go over them really quickly now. So we've got the i5-10400F. So not as great as the 11400F that I put in my build. It comes with an aftermarket cooler, a deep cool one. You guys can see that right there. It comes with a Gigabyte B460, so a little bit older than the B560. Preferable to put something newer, but at the same time, I do understand you guys are trying to make some profit here, so nothing wrong with that. They've gone to the same kit of RAM that I have, so the Corsair Vengeance LPX, DDR4 3200 16 gigs. It's a really good kit. What can I say? Good job, guys. Good pick. SSD, the Kingston one. It's an NVMe drive, 500 gigs. Probably not that great, say. Maybe you guys try to swap that one out. If you're going to buy this build, maybe ask them if they can swap that out for something else, because I think Kingston's not that great of an SSD brand to buy in my personal experience. All of the builds today also don't have a hard drive, so I'm just going to skip that. For GPUs, so they've gone with the XFX 6600, so not a bad card at all. Pretty low powered, and it's got decent performance. It's very comparable to the RTX 3060, but I can understand why they put it in, because they're trying to make a few extra dollars here and there, but I think that's actually not too bad for the price that they're offering here. The case is the Inwin 301 Micro ATX case, so Micro Tower case, so it's a good case. I felt it myself. It's fully metal. It's quite heavy, to be honest with you guys, but I do enjoy it. It's a good rugged case, and it feels very durable. I don't personally own one, but I've seen one many times in stores. So no airflow front panel, and it comes with a Silverstone ET 550 watt power supply. It's a bronze one as well, and a 2-year warranty. Guys, on the power supply, I don't think that's the best option. I personally purchased this one for I think less than $80. I don't think it's the best to put in this type of build, especially for the price you're paying. But at the same time, it's not that bad of a power supply. If you guys want to pick this build up, it's not that bad. Overall, good job, Computer Lounge. I think that's a great price for this type of build, although it should be a wee bit cheaper, but hey, it's not that bad. So a comparable build that they've got is the Ryzen 5 3600. So the Ryzen 5 3600 is like kind of like the more productivity side compared to the i5 10400 or 11400F that are more built specifically for gaming, and what I've seen in benchmarks. Both PCs are great. You pay $50 extra for the 3600. If you guys want to go for that, you guys can search up the differences online, but I just want to give you guys another option, as I have for all of the other ones, on the cheaper side of the budget, so 1850. That type of builds will all have just a small comparison between the two. So let's go over to the $2,200 build from Computer Lounge, and we've gone with the Comet one from Computer Lounge. Interesting case design here. It comes in at $2,099. The specs are not that bad, but at the same time, it's just like if they could squeeze in an RX 6600 XT, it'd be more preferable to do that, or a 3060 Ti. I did see a 3060 Ti around this price range last year, so it'd be nice to see that again this year. Very well built PC. It comes with a Noctua NH-U9S. And just for any of the Computer Lounge employees watching, you guys just have a little mistake on your listing here. The cooling says AIO water cooling, and that's an air cooler, so just wanted to let you guys know that. But anyways, aside from that, it comes with an MSI B450i Gaming Plus Mini ITX motherboard. It is a small build, so I get it. It'd be better to have a B550 board in there, but hey, it doesn't really matter. Again, they've gone with the Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro 16 gigs DDR4 3600, so slightly different, but definitely a good kit of RAM nonetheless. Comes with a good SSD, the same one I picked, a Samsung 980 NVMe M.2 SSD, 500 gigs, no hard drive as usual, and a Zotac GeForce RTX 3060, which is great to see. Honestly, I think they should have gone again with something a bit better in terms of graphics card, but hey, they're probably just trying to get rid of these or something. For the case, they're going with the Fractal Design Era ITX case, which is kind of cool, I guess. It's pretty neat. No FO front panel, and it comes with a Fractal Design Ion fully modular 500 watt power supply. 500 watts, fine. It should be perfectly fine. Fully modular, which is great. I think the Fractal Design power supplies are actually quite decent in my own experience. So good job, Computer Lounge. I think they're not too badly priced. It's just, I think the graphics card should be upgraded in the slightly more expensive one. Just considering that the one for 1949 is very similar in performance to this one right here. So I know the RTX 3060 does perform a slightly better than the RX 6600 in quite a few titles, but at the same time, you're paying quite a bit more. So I would probably expect a slight upgrade, such as an RX 6600 XT. Let's head over to PBTech. So what has PBTech got in line for us? Let's start off with the 1850 one. So they have weird systems of pricing. It's just because they have a lot of listings. It's a little bit hard to compile, but I got through it. It wasn't that difficult, to be honest. Let's head over to the 1851. So their one is $1899, and it comes with a Ryzen 5 3600 stock AMD cooler. It comes with an unknown motherboard. They didn't list it for some reason. I'm not really sure why. It comes with DDR4 3200 16 gigs. Don't know what brand. An NVMe 500 gig SSD. Don't know what brand. No hard drive. A RX 6600. I don't know what brand either. A Deep Cool Matrix 40M ATX case has a airflow front panel, and a generic 600 watt power supply. Sorry, not generic. I just don't know the brand. And a 1-year warranty. So not too bad. I'd say it's just that, I just don't know exactly what's in the PC. It's just kind of weird, but they've just given the baseline specs, which is alright. I do have to say, that's actually not too bad a price, $1899, even compared to the Computer Lounge one. It's very similar specs. You're just paying $50 less. So, different things to weigh up here, but again, there's just nothing that's competing at the price that the my build is even priced at right now. So DIYs all the way, but again, just different things to consider. So a comparable one to this one here is the GGPC Scout, also 1899. The difference is the i5-10400F, and that's about it. Like, either one would be perfectly fine. This one just doesn't have a front panel, which is a little bit weird, but that's okay. It's just that between the builds, performance for gaming or whatever you want here, it's just a toss up. So if you guys want to go strictly for gaming, i5-10400F. If you guys want some productivity, Ryzen 5 3600. Let's head over to the $2,200 build from PBTech now, and we've got this one here. So it's the GGPC Jinx at $2,199. Just fits the bill. So let's go through it one by one. So i5-10400F, stock Intel from what I'm going to assume, an H510M-A micro ATX board, so a little bit subpar. Maybe B460 and B560 would have been better, especially at this price point, so that's a big criticism here. 16 gigs of DDR4, 2666. I can't exactly remember if the 10400Fs are locked on their RAM speed. I can't remember, but that'd be better if it was higher. For memory, I can't exactly remember. I'll put it up on screen now. In terms of SSD, again, why have you guys gone with a 480 gig 2.5 inch SSD? I don't get it. The NVMe drives would have been better. You put an NVMe one in your cheaper build anyways. No hard drive. And what's the great thing about this build is the RX 6600 XT. It's a gaming PC, so that's our main goal. And they have put a really, really good graphics card in here. So it's actually the most powerful one listed on this entire list. And it's a great upside for $2,199 compared to all the other builds. It does perform significantly better than the RTX 3060 as well. So that's saying a lot. The case is the Deepcool Maycube Black. It's got no airflow front panel. It's got a little bit on the side here, but it's not got the full thing here. And a 600 watt power supply from a unknown brand and a 1-year warranty. Overall, for the price, I'd actually say it's not that bad. It's just a little bit concerning that they're skimping on a few parts here. I do get it because they probably try to fit that graphics card in, but at the same time, it'd be great to see an NVMe SSD and high speed RAM. I don't even know what the cache latency on this RAM is either, so I can't really say. But overall, that Jinx PC is pretty decent. Let's head over to PCForce. So PCForce. This one was difficult. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have a lot of listings and a lot of them are weird. Like, some of them don't have graphics cards and some of them do. And some of them are just not good value for money and some of them just don't feel right. I don't know why. It's just weird. But anyways, let's go on to the build here. So for the 1850 build from PCForce, I've gone with their Call of Duty Vanguard gaming PC. I don't know what's called it, but cool name, I guess. Trying to play with the trends at the time. Respect that. Comes in at $1,889, and the specs are a Ryzen 5 3600, a stock AMD cooler, I'm going to assume, a B550 motherboard. Thank you for putting a B550 board in there. That's really good. 16 gigs of DDR4, doesn't specify specs. A 500 gig NVMe drive, doesn't specify brand. No hard drive. A RX 6600, a gig card, again no brand. The case is the Antec DP301M, which is great to see. It's a half mesh front panel, I'd call it, like, or 1/4, I guess, and an Antec 500 watt 80 plus power supply. I'm assuming it's bronze. This PC has a good graphics card for this price range, and it's actually one of the cheaper ones out of the entire lot. So there are things to consider here, that there are unknowns, but at the same time, just in terms of raw price, it's pretty decent. It's a great build for the price. So let's head over to the alternative to them is the RX 6600 gaming PC. Now this one is 1889 as well, so Not bad. Again, it's just the difference in processor. Guys, you guys gotta figure this out one if you want it or not. So depends on what processor you want. Do a bit of research on that. There is a difference. The 10400F again is usually better for gaming, and the other one, the Ryzen 5 3600, is usually better for productivity. So just toss it up and see what you want. Just keep in mind AMD does have the upgradability part, not too much anymore. There are a few more processors that you can upgrade to in the future, that might be available in the future, hopefully, but AMD is not going to keep onto this AM4 socket anymore. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to pricing on everything. But overall, again, not bad at all, a great system. So let's head over to their $2,200 build now. Their $2,200 build has got a Ryzen 5 3600 and a RTX 3060, and it comes in at $2,099. So let's just go through it individually. Ryzen 5 3600, stock AMD cooler, I'm going to assume. A A520 motherboard. I don't know why they put an A520 board in. Seriously, guys, you could put a B550 in your cheaper one, but you can put the B550 in your more expensive one. I don't get it. It's compromises, I guess. But at the same time, it would have been great to see that B550 in this build. 16 gigs of DDR4, a 500 gig NVMe drive, the RTX 3060. Most of these aren't showing the brand on them. And it comes with a TT S100 Black Edition case. So it doesn't really have an airflow front panel. You get a little bit of airflow through the sides here, but it's not fully there. So the Thermaltake one's not too bad. And it just says a 550 watt power supply. So it's an okay build, but for the price, again, the criticism to the more expensive builds would again be, where are the 6600 XTs and where are the RTX 3060 Ti's? I don't know where they've gone, so they should be in these builds, but hey, I don't know what's going on at the moment. Again, graphics card tier list, I'd still say it would be RX 6600, RTX 3060. Above that would be the RX 6600 XT, and above that would be the RTX 3060. So, I'd expect the range of RTX 3060 Ti and the RX 6600s to be in there, but they aren't here. So a bit weird, but it is what it is. And the warranties for PCForce are apparently unknown, so I can't find them out. That's something I'm going to have to get in touch with them. I'll update that if I can find that out. Let's head over to PlayTech. So I've thrown PlayTech in here just for the mix, and there's a big criticism of PlayTech. So PlayTech, I feel like they are a smaller company, and I'd love to see them put higher tier parts in their builds for what they are offering at their prices. I just feel that a lot of the time they skimp on stuff here and there, and it's just not good value for money. I seriously think that they need to take a look at what they're putting in their builds. I know they look attractive, but I just feel like the other ones are better value for money. But I put them in here. It's not to criticize them for putting them in here. I just wanted to have another PC retailer to compare. Instead of just having 3, I think it would be better to have 4, and maybe next time we'll have 5, and we'll try that out. But let's head over to the cheaper build. So the 1850 one, their one is currently $1,199. It has a i5-10400F, a deep cool aftermarket cooler. I assume here it's showing a picture. It's not stated here, but it does have a picture, so it just says the aftermarket cooler. An H510 motherboard. Again, the H510s, I think they should be on B460 or B560. 16 gigs of DDR4, a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. So good job for putting the 1 terabyte in there. It's the only one on this entire list, even compared to my build. It has no hard drive as usual for any of them. It has an RTX 2060. Now, I don't even know why an RTX 2060 would even be considered in the price range of $1,199. That is very expensive for a card that is last generation, and knowingly that there are better cards out there, considering that there's things like the RTX 3060 that are in the other builds for similar prices, or even the RX 6600. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm not trying to be mean to them, but it's just at the same time I want to show you guys the best deals that are out there, and unfortunately they're not giving that. They have I'm going to assume this is an Antec DP301M because it's the same one that I saw from PCForce. It's just not stated here, but that's the picture they're showing, so I'm just going to assume that. I'm not for sure. It's got a half airflow front panel on it. I don't know the power supply. They haven't stated it. It says a Neo Eco Gold, so I can't remember what brand that was, but you can search it up. I don't think it's that one there. It's just a random picture. I really hope maybe it is, but I don't know what power supply they put in there. But you guys have a good warranty period. You guys have a 3-year warranty period. I searched it up. I controlled after. It's a 3-year warranty on all of our PlayTech branded gaming PC systems. So good job on that. I think that's plenty. I think it's a good warranty time. 3 years is plenty. It's a lot more than the other ones, considering that some of them I don't even know them, or they even just 1 year. So good job, guys. Let's see the one for the $2,200 range. So unfortunately they actually exceeded it because I couldn't actually find one of their builds that was in this budget. So this was the cheapest one from the $2,200 restriction. Comes at $2,299, and it's got an i5 10400F, an unknown aftermarket cooler. Can't tell what it is because it's got no photo here. It's got an H510 motherboard, again, same criticism as before. 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, don't know anything about specs or brand. A SSD, so it's a Samsung 980 1TB NVMe SSD. Good job, guys. It's the same, similar to what I've got, except mine's 500 gigs, so good job on the 1TB. That's really good to see. No hard drive. An RTX 3060, so that's a... You know, I expect this in some of the slightly cheaper builds. $2,299 for an RTX 3060 is really pushing it. I think that's very, very, very expensive. And the case is the Antec DP301. I'm just going to assume it is again. Yes, it's a half airflow front panel from what I can see here. If it is the same case, and an unknown power supply that I can't see. But a 3-year warranty as well, so that's great to see. Overall, I think that's not a bad roundup. It's just my overall impressions from these builds is that they are slacking in the graphics card department. I think that at these different price ranges, especially the more expensive ones above $2,000, need to have an RTX 3060 Ti or a 6600 XT. I know it's not like the time they have specials or anything like that, but I do think it's important for the value for the consumer to be there, and that means that there should be better quality cards or higher performing cards in that mix. So you guys can see what I've highlighted here as the best builds for this month in terms of pre-builds. So I've gone with the PBTech GGPC Jinx, and the reason I've gone with that is because it's got a 6600 XT. I think the 6600 XT is a good card for that price. It's a wee bit pricey. It's right at the top of the end of the budget, but at the same time, it does outperform the RTX 3060. If it was a 3060 Ti, I'd be all over it, but it's a 6600 XT, which is also great, and it's the only one that provided it at that higher end. For the cheaper one, for the 1850 build, I've gone with the one from PCForce, and it's 1889. So it's got a few things that I don't know for sure, like warranty, the brand of the motherboard, the specs of the RAM. But at the same time, it's the cheapest one, 1889, and it has a RX 6600. So all of these builds actually have similar parts. Ryzen 5 3600s, i5 10400Fs, the similar thing, same amount of RAM, 16 gigs of RAM, and they all have RX 6600s or RTX 3060s. So, I think the best option or the best strategy for an 1850 build or below 2000 would actually be to get the cheapest one that's available. but do understand the compromises that do come with it, as each builds have their own positives and negatives, such as this one might not have as great a case or not as great a power supply, or the RAM might not be as great, but it is something you have to compromise on depending on the price point. Now, the best thing to drive home to you guys, and I really hope you see it in the price because it gets a lot of people, but if you look at my build here, $1,677.99 from various PC retailers in New Zealand. You can get all of this and you can put it together yourself, and you're going to save you guys at least $450. Like that's like a minimum almost. You're going to save you guys like anywhere from $300 to $450. That's what I can say for sure. So take that into account, and if you still want to go for a pre-built, I have highlighted the best ones here, but I do want to put my point home is that if you guys can gain the knowledge of learning how to make your own PC, it's not that hard, it's not that scary either. You just got to do it step by step. You can find lots of videos and guides online and on YouTube on how to do it, and you'll be able to teach yourself. It's something really easy to do, and you're going to save yourself a lot of money. I think that's actually a good PC for this price, the one that I built here on PC Part Picker. It's just that some people don't feel like they're comfortable enough to do that themselves. So again, the 1881-89 build from PCForce is great, and the PBTech GGPC for the higher end. So that about sums up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a bit long-winded and I had to go through all of them one by one. It did take a while, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you go and check out ystech.org for the latest post reviews and much more. See you guys there at ystech.org. But other than that, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.